When I'm up through the night, I can't turn down the noise, tear all the words out of my mind about who I'm supposed to be. I start to believe I can't get it right. Remember the days I let slip away, they were simpler times. Mama told me before you leave, if there's only one thing you remember from me, child, when you're out on your own, a million miles from home, feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders. Child, don't forget who you are, don't lose your head or your heart. I'll bet my life on your stars, you'll be dancing, dancing on the moon. I'll bet my life, you'll be dancing on the moon. I'll bet my life, you'll be dancing on the moon. I'll bet my life, you'll be dancing on the moon. Dancing on the moon. Dancing on the moon. Maybe my compass was wrong, and I'm still on my way closer each day to where I belong. I'm still rolling the dice, praying sometimes don't last it long. I'm losing my faith, I'm walking away from what you knew all along. Mama told me before you leave, if there's only one thing you remember from me, child, when you're out on your own, a million miles from home, feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders. Child, don't forget who you are, don't lose your head or your heart. I'll bet my life on your stars, you'll be dancing, dancing on the moon. I'll bet my life, you'll be dancing on the moon. I'll bet my life, you'll be dancing on the moon. I'll bet my life, you'll be dancing on the moon. Dancing on the moon. Child, when you're out on your own, a million miles from home, feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders. Child, don't forget who you are, don't lose your head or your heart. I'll bet my life on your stars, you'll be dancing, dancing on the moon.
This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want now. This ain't what you want. Who alive can't put me in a box. I redefine any definition you got. I am the tiger, I'm making steps to the top. The flames, I whip it up, you just gotta hand me the rock. Take a seat, you cannot stand it. All I know, the flow harder than a Scotch bunny. Don't try studying me, you cannot manage. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon. Yeah, you better listen. I'm bitches. Release bombs, they go tick, tick. Boom, you blow me, that head missing. I'm a phenomenon. Stacking cheese like it's Parmesan. 8 different flows, call me Octomom. I'm moving fast like the Autobahn. And I'm independent, so I'm not your fucking starving like it's Ramadan. Sick, twisted, gifted, can't copy, printed, can't hold me down. I shape shift, I'm liquid. I killed this beat, I might get convicted. They know how I move, it was predicted. Persistent, spoke it into existence, so consistent, no assistance. Hear me once, become addicted. If I rap it, then I live it. There's no cap when I be speaking this. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.
Taste in tunes and everything you ooze. The tempo of your beat, you bleed a melody. No one can control that old time rock and roll. No rule of gravity. And hey, can I follow you back to your room, watching you bloom in the light of the moon? Can I follow you back to your arms, wash it all in the river of your heart? There's a million different songs that I learned to sing, watching you bloom in the light of the moon. Your loneliness will never be lost on me, so reach out and love and don't be a stranger.
Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon, and I end up alone. I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect.
And welcome on in, ladies and gentlemen, to Apollo Racing Club F1 2020 Tier 1, the Mexican Grand Prix. The Mexican Grand Prix, it is the track, the what do they call it? The Autodromo Hernández Rodriguez. I'm not even going to try it. So the Mexican Grand Prix track is 2.67 miles in length, with kind of a unique, it's a unique circuit by going into basically a stadium, soccer stadium, coming out the other end. But I am Adam EV500 here to bring you all the play-by-play. We will have another commentator joining us here shortly. And he is a guest commentator tonight. It is Kia who will be joining us here shortly. But thank you so much for watching on YouTube and on Twitch. We thank you so much here at Apollo Racing Club. I do not have a standings. I guess I could replace it real quick. But in the standings, we do have updated standings. Hello, Kia. How are you? With 12 people, is that all they could scrum up tonight? Yeah. Okay. Well, this will get real interesting quickly. Once in Russia? Wow. I think at one point we had 10 drivers. So, but we are live, just so you know. Luckily, you were muted. But 12 drivers, so you're a mod. You could probably help me figure this out. But looking at the standings, Terry is currently in first place with 152 points. Right below him is Rogue in the AlphaTauri. If Terry falls out of the points tonight and Rogue manages to win, they go to next week battling for the championship. But if Terry were to win tonight, it's over.
That sounds correct. I do have to let you know, first of all, I'm not a mod. I'm not sure why you thought that. But two, it would be... it looks like there are only 11 drivers in the lobby. For Terry to not be in the points, it would take literally DNFing on turn 1, and he would have to be the first person to DNF.
Well, actually, he doesn't even have to fall out of the points. He just has to win tonight where the battle is on, I think.
Right.
Still. I'm not sure. Nobody told me. I was just told we have updated standings finally, and I'm trying to figure out on the go here. But yeah, Rogue sitting with 124 points, Bag P with 123 points. So he and Rogue very close together. Ruda with 80 points. He's not here tonight. Gore with 71 points. He is not here tonight. Chipsy is here tonight. He has 64 points, so he has an opportunity to capitalize on some points here, maybe get that gap closer. Mr. Hood in the Mercedes with 58 points. Is he here tonight? Yes, he is. At least I think I saw him in the voice chat.
Yeah,
I don't know why I think you're a mod for F1. So,
well, I do a lot of the FIA stuff, but basically, Terry needs to maintain at least, Rogue needs to maintain at least 26-point gap to Terry in order to be in for a chance in Brazil. That's the long and short of it. Whether that's going to happen, I don't know. It's possible that it doesn't. If Terry does win, that is not looking good for him because currently, of course, the gap is, 20 something points. what was it? It was 154, and how much did
One
Rogue
one
have?
152 and 124, so third
So
28.
Rogue needs to eclipse, not eclipse him, but Rogue needs to gain on him by at least 4 points, in order to keep the championship alive. So if Rogue finishes behind Terry, it's over.
Oof. A lot of pressure on Rogue then. So Rogue has to finish first, and if he has to gain 4 points more, he has to take fastest lap, and Terry has to finish third.
There's always the possibility that one of them finishes 10th, one of them finishes 4th or something like that. So
yeah.
there are a lot of possible combinations, but essentially that's it. Rogue needs to finish ahead to keep it alive.
Well, it's been a while since Apollo Racing Club has been in Mexico, so this will be quite interesting.
The last time we've been in Mexico, the S's were not flat. In this game, the S's are flat, but the last time, absolutely not. So it should be interesting. I don't think many people just have much experience racing on it. I imagine most of them only do it for league races, and some of them this is their only league. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Well, they're gearing up to go on to qualifying here at Apollo Racing Club. Kia, any initial predictions in qualifying?
I think we're going to see Van do surprisingly well, considering he's a Tier 2 driver that was brought up to pump up our numbers and not make us look like, sad people. I think... No, my prediction is probably going to be Terry or Bag on podium. Road historically doesn't qualify well, and Gore is not here, and those are the people I would consider in contention for pole. Unless Van can pull a sneaky and do really well. And it's raining!
Oh, and let's just throw this into the mix. Wet weather.
It's... Wow, that's interesting. So quali weather is light rain, light rain, light rain, light rain. So it's going to be light raining through the entire quali. The race weather, it starts clear. And for 20 minutes, it is an overcast until a storm begins and then clears up. So... It's going to be raining by the end of the race. That'll be interesting for strategy. Can't wait to see how that plays out, especially considering I bet absolutely... I doubt a lot of them had dry running here. I doubt any of them have wet running. Looks like everyone's setting up inters. Good choice. Obviously, light rain, not going to be that big, but they're now scrambling to Google a wet weather setup for Mexico. Probably.
Well, I would say probably the hardest thing about racing here is obviously the fact that it's going to be hard to drive here on the dry. Can't imagine it on the wet. It's pretty much, it doesn't really elevate much at all throughout the lap. So it's not your traditional circuit at all as this track goes through a stadium section.
The setup for this track is generally you want a more open diff, something like 55 or 50 to 55, and you want rearward brake ballast because of the long acceleration stretches. So I'm thinking that the setup might actually lend itself, like a regular dry running setup might lend itself enough to running well in the wets that it doesn't matter too much. We have Main Chief, I believe, will be the first one out. No, it'll be a Renault of Pitts Parker.
Pete Sparker, the first man to come out of the pits to brave it out here at the Mega. What do they call this, Kia? You're very good about saying these names properly.
I'm
what
not
do
sure.
They call this track?
It's the Autodrome something.
I tried to pronounce it earlier, and my Spanish is very it's not very good.
Ernesto Rodriguez.
Okay, there we go. Well, Pizza Parker, look, the track's obviously very wet here. He's the first man out, so he'll be the first man to put down a line. But the track is obviously going to evolve in the 18 minutes of qualifying. Will we see a dry line? Will we see maybe faster times towards the towards the end of qualifying? Are we going to see a pole shootout, or are we going to just see these guys maybe put out a lap now and just call it good?
Yeah, I mean, it's really hit or miss as to whether track conditions the information surrounding track conditions are not at all readily available in F1. We really don't know whether continuing light rain degrades the circuit or not. We do know that it is constant, that a circuit improves over time with track evolution as a base mechanic of the game. But like dry lines, they're just not a thing. Visually, they're present, but they're not. You don't have more grip on any section. Like the track is uniform in its grip. It's not spread out anywhere. There's no areas of more grip or less. F1 is really a game of maximizing your lines more than anything else.
Pizza Burger starting his hot lap here, coming through the first couple of turns, looking very good here. That first chicane, not going to be an easy passing zone there, so it's going to have to come down to turns 4 and 5, which is this chicane right here. Pizza Parker putting up a 30.725, and then Main Chief in the Alfa Romeo putting up a 30.695 in Sector 1. And we also see Terry in the Williams putting up a 30.670. So that is the fastest time. Terry currently on pace to put the car on pole.
Yeah, we obviously have a lot of time to go through, but Terry is one of the faster guys, and he does kind of excel in wet weather, I would say, or at least he's more adapted than most of the other drivers. As Pizza Parker is coming in to finish the very first of the hot running laps here, coming through the final turn, right where Bottas slammed into the wall a few years ago. He's hugging the right side. He sets a time of 1:27.1, obviously about maybe 15 seconds above what we would expect in dry, so we'll have to see. Main Chief easily beating it by over a second with a 1:26, and Bag P setting in a 1:25.7, beating him by 0.3. And we'll have to see now, probably down to Terry to see how he's completing his own lap. He's coming through the stadium section now.
Doing a nice job through the final turn, comes through there, gets right up onto the inside curb, comes across the line, goes third fastest with a 1:26.69. So obviously some time in that car. SoCal Blazer putting up a 1:27.239, and Lord Raptor now going with a 1:29.485. Now we see... who else is coming across? It looks like we see Rogue coming across the line here very shortly to start his lap. He's just cutting the track.
Van sets the time of 1:28.1, obviously a bit lower than a bit higher than who'd expect, as it were. Stewie and Rogue cutting through the entire stadium section. I am not sure whether that would count as invalidation for both laps, so he might have to go around one more time, but we'll see as he ducks into the pits. So I believe I could see what happened. He does not have enough fuel to complete the next lap, so that is why he's ducking in.
All right.
Sorry, no, he has too much fuel. He went out with 7 laps. It is the other AlphaTauri who does not have enough fuel. That's Van, but Van's coming in anyway. Yeah, looks like Rogue came out with 7 laps of fuel, and that's why he's ducking in. He was unable to set a competitive time with a heavier car.
The Mercedes of Mr. Hood coming across the line now, going fourth fastest with a 1:27.048. So finally finding a time there with him. And let's see here, Bagby, he's on another, I think he's on another lap. No, he's on an in lap. Looks like Pizza Parker might be on another lap, but I don't see him improving.
Gypsy coming across the line with a 1:28.3. That is a pretty poor. Maybe that was a cooldown lap, because it does look like he's going again, and he certainly looks like he has the pace to do that. Or sorry, the fuel to do that. He's got 5 laps of fuel on board, so he's going to be wearing down those inters as he just continues to improve on his line. Then probably go for a flying lap towards the end.
Smithy, is that how you say? Because that's all I can see on my screen in the Racing Point. He is currently fourth fastest with a 126.911. So the top four right now separated by a second, almost right over a full second. Bagpee with a 125.359, Main Chief with a 126.0, and Terry with a 126.9695, excuse me.
Looks like Chipsy's coming through the stadium section once more to complete another lap. This one does look like he had depleted his battery, and he's going mode 0 to cool off and do one more cooldown. Yeah, I think Chipsy's just getting used to a wet line. He knows that the race is going to be wet towards the end, so being able to get ready for it is good. 9 minutes remaining in the qualifying, probably 10 on their end.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Ooh, Rogue going sideways and saving it out of the last turn. Saved it twice, actually. Not exactly the start to a hot lap he'd probably want, but very impressive nonetheless.
I was going to say, very quickly, good catch there, Kia. Here comes Stewie 3K. He is on a hot lap. He is actually looking to improve right now. He has improved. He put up a 31.058 in Sector 1. Currently P9 as he comes down into, what is that, turn 9?
Down here? No, that'd be turn 13?
13?
Yeah, if this is 16 and then 17 is the curve, then that was turn 13.
Stewie 3K coming across the line now. He gets a position up the board, going with a 127.303. So that lap proving to be effective for him. Now let's see who else is out there. Terry right now on a lap, invalid. Hood on a invalid. No, excuse me. Mr. Hood's coming out of the pits. SoCal Blazer right now is on a lap.
Certainly looks like it. This is coming into what is turn 6, I believe. Coming down into turn 7 through the S's, obviously flat in the dry, but not even close in the wet. He's gonna have to take care not to upset the car as he goes over the turns, as you're shifting a lot of weight around. It's really easy to get spun around here. Coming into turn 12 into sector 3 for the stadium section. The final section here locks up just a bit, but doesn't seem to scrub off too much time.
Comes through turn 13 and 14.
Short shifting a lot to avoid wheel spin in the wet, obviously a very common technique. He's going to hug the right down the acceleration through the end. No, he's going to end up towards the left, improves only by 700ths, and he's not up in position as far as I can tell.
Terry Bagpee on a hot lap. He is trying to improve on his time and solidify pole position here with...
Looks like Main Chief is in the wall near one of the Williams on an outlap spun out at turn 6, reversing back onto the track now, trying to get out of the way.
Terry on a lap as well.
Yeah, that is who had to... take care to avoid him. Coming now into sector 3 for Terry. Yeah, he's taking a very aggressive line, something that you can see the other guys are trying to be more conservative and avoid. He's putting the car over curbs and really straddling the edges of the track here.
And he was a half a second up.
Short shifting out of corners, and it does look like this might be on course for P3. As Rogue had actually set a good enough time for P2, so that is certainly him in contention.
And that was after a very poor start to a lap.
Yeah, the slidey.
Sliding start to the lap. And Terry, one thing I will say about Terry's lap there, he was about a half a...
Bag sliding around in the same manner that we saw Rogue as he tries to begin his own hot lap. Don't think he'll want to take that far, but if he does carry Rogue's luck, maybe it'll improve his time as well.
Well, he is fully going at it here with 7 minutes to them, 5 minutes for us on the clock here in qualifying. And this is when things get a little can get a little interesting. I think some guys are going to make some final dive into the pits to get some fresh tires if they want to set a fast time. But if you're like Chipsy, you have 6 laps on those intermediate tires. Luckily, it's a free tire choice for the race.
Yeah, and I wonder what the strategy is going to be. My mind tells me it might be a soft medium. Ooh, Terry's fighting the car over curbs here. Coming through the S's, fighting the car not over curbs, has a snap moment of oversteer, decides he needs to cut the track in order to make sure the car doesn't go in the wall, and having even more moments here. But my heart tells me it's probably going to be a soft medium, maybe soft. I know soft is quite risky when you're expecting rain at the end of the race, but it does pay off dividends in the end. So who knows? Maybe if soft is possible, given the starting forecast.
One of the things I was told by Van before the race, he was saying that if it's dry, it would be a 2-stopper. So, but soft, that sounds like an interesting strategy on if you want to do basically a 3-stopper. No, a 2-stopper. Start on the softs, but what about starting on mediums and just waiting for the rain to come and then switching the intermediates?
See, the thing is, I don't think the mediums will last long enough. I'm already sketchy about the softs going that long. I think if you are going to go onto the mediums, it would be a mediums to softs to inters.
Rogue right now putting up the fastest Sector 1. We're on board with him right now. He put up a 30.501 as he comes through the stadium section through the final turn. Puts up a time. He goes fastest here. He gets pole position with a 125.297. What a lap.
Rogue might be back on form with this wet weather driving. It looks like the 2 Williams are struggling a bit. You can see them sliding all over the place, and it does look like Rogue is able to contain his own moments just a bit more.
Well, that is definitely going to make the Williams drivers very interested here as they get ready to come out for another lap. We see the McLaren of SoCal Blazer coming out of the pits as well. Van is in the pits. Stewie 3K on an out lap. Main Chief, I think he is on a hot lap.
And it looks like Chipsy played this perfectly. He's finally coming into pit. He's going to be fitting new inters. I imagine he's going to be fitting new inters and lower fuel so he can finally get his good lap out of the way. And he's already got 7 laps under his belt, far more than anyone else on the field. And he's already up to P5 with heavier fuel runs. I think this might look good for him because he does have a decent banker time with that long run.
Main Chief putting up a 30.360 in Sector 1. That is the fastest Sector 1. In Sector 2, a 32.309, so he improves there. And now he's coming through the stadium section through the final turn now, and he's now gonna come across the line, and he is going to put up a 125.304 and go second fastest. So the Williams drivers now falling to the second row of the grid.
Yeah,
and Bagby and Terry, go ahead.
That is 7 thousandths away from the Alpha is 7 thousandths away from the other Alpha, the Tari, or the Romeo from the Tari, and it looks like Main Chief is going to be cutting corners in order to make it back, in order to set a time in time. He's going to be cutting a lot of corners. You have to make sure he doesn't kill anyone else in the process. He's right behind Rogue, and he's sliding all over the place. He's going to have to make sure his tires are able to cool down before he does start. I'm actually not even sure. He's probably not going to set another lap. I bet they have time enough if he cuts enough corners, and he does this on his out lap as well, to get one more lap on a fresh set if he comes into the pits, but just barely, and that's why he's rushing so much.
Let's take a look here. Madman GTR, he has made it to the party tonight in the other McLaren. Didn't even see that he was here. Now we're seeing the Williams drivers. They're allowing each other to get in front. I think that was Terry making the overtake there. No, it was Bagby. No, it was Terry. It was for sure Terry overtaking Bagby, because Bagby knows that a championship can be won tonight. Gypsy's retiring from the session. He feels comfortable in P5. His teammate, Mr. Hood, is out on a hot lap right now, coming through Sector 2. Are Terry and Bagpee on a hot lap? No, there's no way.
Looks like Terry might be, but I would bet with the time desync that they might be just starting now.
Okay.
Terry
There
is
we go.
on pole, improves by 7/10. By 124.9. We'll have to see if Rogue's able to respond. He's sliding his way through the S's now. It does look like he's on good pace. We'll have to see as he comes across what the split time is for his sectors. He's down only 400s. He's going to need some big improvements either in Sector 1 that we didn't see or through Sector 3. But I believe it might be Bagpee's time, and I'm willing to bet that lap or that passing from Terry might have been a slipstream from Bagpee. And it does look like Rogue has invalidated, and he is done. Unable to set a faster time, 125.2 will stand as his final time, as it looks like Terry might have given a slipstream back to Bag, as Bag is now on his own hot lap, improving by 4/10 over the first sector. Coming into Sector 2 now, the S's, this is where you can lose and gain a lot of time. Obviously, you don't want to be lifting off at all in the dry, and in the wet, you don't even want to be braking here, you just want to lift. You lose way too much time if you brake, and he's up another 4/10 in.
That's two fastest times.
That is, looks like Bagpee might be on pole here, and that'll be the Williams jumping at the last minute right back into the front row.
Bagpee now coming through the final turn. He comes across the line now, and he does put the car on pole. It's a 124.442. Throwing Rogue onto the second row, but Bagpee takes pole here.
He improves by almost a minute here. That is that's a really big margin to improve. Mr. Hood's going slower. Can't tell what this racing point is, but it looks like he's actually invalidated. So 1 minute at a time, and that is that. That is the end of qualifying as Madman is slipping into the pit lane.
Well, what an interesting qualifying, and as we know, the race is definitely going to be very interesting in terms of qualifying. Hello, North Swede. How are you doing this evening, sir? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us. So we're going to head into our race here very shortly. 50% race. How many laps is that? Do we know?
23 or 27 is one of them. As we have the rest of the F1 grid joining us for a moment.
Max Verstappen won today. Nice victory for him.
Looks like the two Canadian Williams taking the front row with a 124.4, and then 5/10 back on him is his teammate Terry, and another 3/10 from him is Rogue. Main Chief filling out the second row. Chipsy and Hood sharing the third. Smithers, I have a feeling that says Smithers instead of Smithy, but the Racing Point and the Renault of Pizza Parker on the next row down. SoCal, Van, Stewie, Madman, and Lord Raptor round out our grid.
Well, there is your qualifying lineup. Seeing 3 more cars on the grid than initially. It's gotta bring some hope to our championship story. But it could all end here tonight.
This is very interesting. According to Van, their strategy is going to be a soft, medium, soft enters.
Say what? A 3-stop?
Apparently.
What?
We'll have to see when exactly this rain is scheduled to get here, but apparently it's only at the tail end of the session, so we'll have to see. I just recommended a soft inters instead, because they do have the soft sets to make up for it.
Well, I'll be able to tell you because I do have access to their pit strategy on my screen, so that'll be nice to see where they go on to. If a soft medium soft inter works, honestly, let's be real. That would be. That's so much time lost. I'm just thinking in my head, we're thinking about 23 seconds in the pits. That's over a minute in pit stops. That's crazy.
I remember my last win was bringing hards in Mexico to like an 80% at the end just for the eking out the win. It was a soft hard. It's very tough. 36 laps. Sorry, not 26. And here we are.
So 36 laps. Soft tire will make it where? Lap. Fresh softs, what, 10, 11 laps?
I mean, the AWS screen just came up for me, but I was not paying attention. I was making sure the telemetry was reset and working. It looks like light rain only starts in 30 minutes. So, I mean, that's not at the very end of the race, so that's good. At least we'll see it.
So it is definitely going to happen. We're going to see it.
Looks like softs are good for 11 laps.
11 laps, okay. Then they'll go to the mediums. The medium tire should last about 16 laps.
We will see.
If you're not going to inters after that, then I don't know.
Looks like Main Chief is backing up the grid so much. Those guys are going to be sitting on the grid waiting for everyone else to form up. This pack is very, very split. At least it was through the S's.
Well, who will that benefit? I think that doesn't really benefit the top three because they're going to be sitting there for a while, letting their brakes cool down.
I think no, your brake temperatures are locked in. Like all your temps are locked in when you get on the grid. They don't drop. What it does is make them jittery while they're waiting for everyone else to line up, and they just want to race because they just got done.
My screen's now saying a 2-stop, a soft medium.
Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of recreational narcotics fan is enjoying. We'll have to see.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the time is here. The Haas of Lord Raptor rounding out the grid here, and 5 lights will come on here in Mexico. And 5 lights go out here, and away we go in Mexico. And now Bag P taking the lead here. Terry moves over, tucks in behind Bag P. Rogue is tucking all behind every one of those guys, and he's going to try and make a move early. But Terry making a move on the outside of turn number 1. He's going to get it done. He knows if he wins this race, he wins a championship tonight.
Well, there's going to be team orders at play, of course. Oh, and that's the Chipsy spun off in turn 1. Turn 3 that would be. But this is like championship on the line. Of course, the team orders are going to come into play for Williams. Looks like the Racing Point is weaving all over, trying to get a move down onto the car in front of Mr. Hood, I believe. And it looks like he is going to be pinging off of him. Might go for a move here into turn 6, and he gets it done. And that is dusted. But like I said, team orders, it was a very long straight up. As Rogue now, through the S's, coming in to potentially second place as the Alfa Romeo is following very closely behind him. Rogue is sticking around here, going to the outside. The Alfa Romeo is going for the inside on the dive, and that is 3 wide. Does not work, but Rogue does get ahead. That is Rogue up into P2.
Rogue, the defending champion here at Apollo Racing Club. He is trying to get up to lead. He does not want to let Terry go here. He knows he has to finish ahead of Terry in order to even have a chance here to take this to Brazil next week. Bag P in 3rd place now. Main Chief, he's getting a little aggressive here as a substitute here tonight.
Absolutely. And like I said on the start, we saw a lot of cars piling up because it is, or not piling up, but going like for breast, I think, at some points, because it is just such a long run up to turn 1. The slipstream is insane, even from a standstill. As Rogue is, up 1 position, Terry's up. Bag is the biggest loser at the moment, dropping, well, biggest loser other than Chipsy, dropping 2 positions from the start, but Chipsy's all the way at the back. I believe he was saved from a pit stop. Doesn't look like he is wing damage, but very unfortunate for him.
Main Chief trying to keep up here. He goes off a little bit off track there in sector what is that? Turn. Wasn't able to see all of that. So what turn that was, but he definitely went off track there. But he's keeping pace here with Bagpee, so he is definitely in contention to disrupt this championship fight here tonight. Looking back in the field, SoCal Blazer fighting with Stewie 3K for 9th position. Everyone's.
Like
go ahead.
Sorry. It looks like we had a late join. Not sure what that was. I just left. But Rogue has really trying to catch up on Terry. He's deploying a lot of his battery. He's down to only 20%. The DRS isn't even open yet. And Terry's riding pretty at 60% already. That energy management difference between them becoming so apparent. And it looks like Main Chief, the only one we aren't actually familiar with, hasn't raced with us. I think at all. This is his first race. He's really the dark horse here. We're not sure exactly what his performance is looking like, but it does look like everyone is tucked up. We'll have to see how DRS affects this. Obviously, a DRS plus. Oh, and Terry's picking up warnings here, and that is the first penalty we've seen. Actually, both of the Williams picking up 3 seconds of penalties. Well,
Bagpee is sticking right on the tail end, and he's going to try and make a move on the inside here through the stadium section of the track, and was not able to get there. I don't know what I was trying to say there, but Rogue once again doing a great job here. Now Bagpee trying to stick within DRS range as well. He's going to get it along with Rogue.
Rogue actually doesn't have DRS.
No, he did it.
No, I'm watching them the entire time. His wing didn't open, and he didn't have an indication on his HUD.
The indication's up now again. I thought I saw his wing open. Well, maybe I'm just going blind as well, or going crazy, but he is now right on the tail end of Terry. Now we're seeing 4 cars basically battling for the lead here very early. They know the rain is coming.
Absolutely, and it looks like Rogue's the only one who's keeping it relatively clean. I'm gonna go check whether how many warnings he has. He has 2 warnings already, so it does look like this might be a battle of track limit attrition. Everyone is picking up corner cuts here. I wonder, that'll probably, obviously decrease as they get more and more familiar with the circuit. That is Main Chief going for a move around the outside of Bagpee, and he gets it done. Bagpee sliding around just a bit as he comes through the stadium section. That's another join apparently.
Yeah, that is another joint. It was one of our, I think it's Jack. He is one of our Tier 1 drivers.
No, the Emerald Jack has already left. This is a different Jack.
Yeah, did you forget to...
No,
the privacy... All right. Interesting.
Oh, and is that Terry going, locking up and going wide? Allowing
yes.
Rogue to recover a lot of room? Rogue
yes.
now with the DRS open is going to be going for a move. I'd assume he is reserving his battery. He's probably going to wait for the longest straight on the calendar to get it done. Obviously, you do the advantages of going for the second DRS straight is obviously that you do have an entire sector before you in the S's to make up enough time to get yourself out of DRS range before getting up to another easy passing section, which all of these DRS sections frankly are. They're just push to pass buttons, and that is Terry. Oh, and Terry's off. Well, and Terry's DNF'd!
What has happened?
Terry
is out!
Rained off the track, and he is gone. And that's a VSC.
A virtual safety car. And we can officially say the fight continues on. Unless Rogue, for whatever reason, does not win this race.
Is that Rogue coming into the pits?
It is.
Rogue doesn't have wing damage. He's pitting... Ooh, this is spicing up. I'm not sure what the strategy call is here, but he and Main Chief are both pitting onto the mediums, and Van gets a drive through for speeding under safety car. Van, you know this. Stop it. My goodness. That's Rogue onto the mediums. I imagine he's gonna try to go mediums to the inters. I'm really not sure at this point.
I'm not sure because we're green flag racing already.
Yep, and that's Terry. Terry's gone. Terry's left. Yeah, that's you know what? I'll be looking out for something in the reports channel to see what exactly that was.
And if nothing comes, we need to ask at least what happened there, because I'm surprised Terry even left. He is not coaching his teammate Bagpee at all through this. Now, Rogue, that was a gamble for Rogue to go on the medium tires under virtual safety car, and we're already green flag racing here again. It was that quick. Did that kind of oof?
I honestly, I don't know. That might be a strategy masterclass. It might be a poor decision, but it does look like. I mean, Rogue, I trust him to be able to fight through the grid easily. We've seen him do it countless times, especially on this track where the DRS zones are of abundance. It's going to be pretty insane.
Well, Rogue just made a pass on the Haas of Lord Raptor. So he is doing a great job there already. So Bagpee, your current leader of this race on 6th lap old soft tires. Behind him, Pizza Parker benefiting on the pit stops of Rogue, the wreck of Terry, and the pit stop of Main Chief. So, and then Mr. Hood up into 4th place as well. He started on the medium tire. So this midfield pack is driving very well here.
I'm sorry, I have an update from Jeff. Light rain
Go ahead.
in 20 minutes.
Light rain starting in 20 minutes. I don't trust Jeff when he says light rain in 20 minutes.
Well, I'm not sure. What I'm thinking is that Rogue's mediums might last until the light rain.
According to the weather, it says he's correct, but I'm never sure because it starts to rain, but then it doesn't sometimes. It's very confusing sometimes with the weather system.
Well, regardless, 16 laps on mediums at a minute 40 per lap, a minute, 15 per lap, something like that.
Yeah.
They'll easily get to time before those mediums degrade. I do think that this might have been, this is probably the brilliant call if he can get onto the mediums and just ace that without having to stop again in what I would consider under racing conditions Bag has to do. And as he gets a double overtake on those two McLarens through turn 1.
Woo! That was absolutely beautiful. And guess who's keeping up with him? It's Main Chief. He's right on the back end of that McLaren as well. So Main Chief very quick here at Apollo Racing Club. And he tried to make a move and he loses part of his wing. Oh, Main Chief, what was that? He tried to make basically a double overtake there, and he loses the right part of that wing. So he is missing an end plate. Then, to make things worse, gets a 3-second penalty for track limit. So Rogue right now only has 2 penalties here at Apollo Racing Club. Only 2 warnings. Not penalties, warnings. And hasn't picked up a third. So he has to drive very cleanly here for the rest of the race before he picks up that penalty.
It doesn't even necessarily mean that. It just means he's going a lot cleaner than his competitors, and they have to worry a lot more about their racing than he does. He knows he can pick up another warning without that much trouble. It's just it's reverting back to an on-track win rather than a gap win.
Gypsy making a move on the inside of Stewie 3K down the front straight and gets it done easily with that DRS. Who says DRS is not OP?
And it looks like he's on the back of his teammate now with DRS, obviously not needing to expend any of his energy to catch up to him. But both their batteries actually pretty low, so I imagine they might milk this DRS train for a little while. Ooh, Gypsy saving a moment, just a snap moment of oversteer coming out of turn 5 there. moment from him. Yeah, his teammate on the older tire is obviously going to be letting him by probably through the next DRS zone just to, or before the next DRS zone, likely to maximize their own advantage.
Well, that would be a very Mercedes things to do. Maximize every potential out of the tire. He tried to make Chipsy get a little twitchy there, coming into the stadium.
Yeah, just going for a little look down the inside. Not too much harm there.
Now let's see here. Madman GTR, he's now 4/10 off of Main Chief here because Main Chief, he has to pit at some point. He did pit for hards, so he's going to obviously switch to the inters and not stop
Chipsy
again.
rapidly catching on Mr. Hood here. Is he going to lift? He has deployed all of his battery. No, he's going for the inside into turn one. Leave each other space as your teammates. You don't want to be crashing each other out. And honestly, I think he could have done without deploying the battery there and just caught up under DRS. But he's still deploying anyway, and it looks like Mr. Hood is not trying to fight him with battery, but is trying to fight him on track and block him.
They may be teammates in game, in livery, but they are definitely not teammates right now. It's kind of interesting because they are in voice chat together. I wonder how this is going.
Looks
Now,
like Gypsy's right on the back of him once again, coming through this stadium section. Don't expect him to make a move, probably until the end of this straight, if any, and then after that it would be at the end of the next DRS straight, just to be able to make sure that he doesn't. Thank you for the raid of 33 people, IDJ. Gypsy into the pits. So I guess that is no overtake there.
Bag P also
into P6.
Bag P also going into the pits. He came out in P3, so not bad considering he is on that medium tire. Now we're going to take a look at Mr. Hood. He is very thankful to be no longer under pressure, but from his teammate.
Crucially, Bag P coming out well ahead of Rogue. Rogue dealing with the traffic is certainly a big issue here, and it does look like that choice to pit under VSC might have not been the brightest of ideas.
Well, Rogue right now in P6. He is trying to get past this Ferrari of Stewie 3K. He did a great job of staying on the back of Mr. Hood, but he's fallen quite a ways back, almost a second back, so he'll be out of DRS zone, but Rogue will not be in that AlphaTauri. Rogue looking to potential. He has to, what did we say? He has to basically, if he does really well tonight, he takes it to Brazil. What is the minimum amount of points Rogue has to get in order to take this to
4?
He only has to get his 4 points.
Yeah, so he's at a 30 gap deficit right now. The maximum he can get in Brazil is 26, so he needs 4.
Ooh, this is going to get very interesting come next week. Rogue right now in P4.
And just a little break, a comment from Terry on his incident. This is for you, Tors. Terry says that there was no contact. He just had difficulty controlling the car coming through the S's. The weight distribution, obviously, of a fully loaded car is different than what he was used to, and he was unable to control it and clapped into the wall and DNF'd.
Yep. Wow. So that is very.
He's very upset. He apparently feels like he might have thrown away the championship, and I have to say, it wasn't great. He easily could have sealed it tonight, but given Rogue's strategy, we're calling it a blunder at the moment. But given his strategy blunder, it doesn't look like they're probably going to Brazil. But I think he's still going to carry a large points advantage, so it's not going to be that much worry, unless of course if Rogue does get 26 points, that's fast slap plus P1 tonight, and closes the gap to only 4 points to Terry, then it's a very, very interesting Brazilian Grand Prix with anywhere if both of them finish above, I believe that would be P7, as we see Rogue going for a move down on Mr. Hood here. If they both finish above P7, yeah, Rogue just getting the move done with no qualms at all. If they both finish above P7, then Rogue definitely has to finish above Terry. Just the mechanics of how points are just distributed.
Ooh, this is getting exciting because now Rogue has moved up into the podium position once again by making that move on Mr. Hood. He was going to be the race leader if he didn't pit, but he, I think he learned something by Red Bull's strategist these past couple of weeks especially on how to take the lead in the race. Back again, basically based on strategy. So we're on lap 14 of 36. The rain coming here in about 10 minutes. So what are these drivers thinking? That is the question.
Terry seems to be back in the voice chat with Bag. Wonder if he's going to be joining back to spectate. I'm not sure what our rules are about that. I believe it's allowed, though, considering he was in DNF, and we do allow DNF drivers to spectate.
Now, we did have a double yellow. Well, he just had a yellow flag in sectors 2 and 3. I wonder what happened there, but they have been cleared out.
Oh yeah, we could see the sky is just getting more and more gray. It is time. Yeah, I mean, to Terry in chat. Oh, as Rogue is now climbed up into P2, 13 seconds behind Bag. Yeah, I'm not 100% about this Rogue strategy of pitting under the VSC. That's certainly interesting, but I imagine Bag might have done it if Rogue hadn't. It's just a matter of covering off strategy. But yeah, I'm not really certain about it. We'll have to. I think this will definitely come down to when they decide to pit. If they can nail the interchangeover to inters, if Rogue gets, or if Bag P gets the call from Jeff while he's halfway down the straight and Rogue's just coming out of the final turn, then that could definitely flip things on their head, because the time difference there is like seconds a lap. Even when you're in the early stages of the racetrack transitioning to a mixed conditions. So this is the 13-second gap. Looks like it might seal the deal, but that doesn't tell the full story of the race. We still have pit strategy to play out on top of a rain coming, essentially.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining us for the first time tonight, thank you for joining us. To give you basically a summary of what's been happening here at Apollo Racing Club F1 2020 Tier 1, Rogue, our defending champion, has been basically behind all season to Terry. And Rogue has had some very good finishes here as of late. First couple races didn't quite get the results he wanted and get those big points, but after those first two races really started to get going. Bag P and Terry joined this season. They weren't here last season, and they have absolutely dominated the field here this season. So the fact that we are going to potentially a final race shootout for the championship, I mean, this has got that classic F1 vibe to it.
Yeah, and it looks like, given Rogue's position at the moment, it doesn't look like he'll close the gap considerably. Again, if he does get the maximum points available, that closes it to 4 points, still behind Terry, but 4 points, and that definitely makes it very dependent less on math and just who finishes first in Brazil, rather than I need to finish within 2 points or 2 positions or whatever. By the way, for Terry, if you check out our league regulations 5.3.7, drivers who DNF'd are allowed to support other drivers who are still in the race and remain in the lobby. I don't want to. That basically means, like, I think you're fine to reconnect and spectate Bag rather than just using the telemetry. So I really don't think anyone's gonna have a problem just because you disconnected. If you reconnect, it's fine.
You heard it here, folks, from one of the guys in the FIA. Actually, one of the guys who wrote the rule book
Tag writes the rule book. I just dictate to him. That's
You know the rule book very well, so
we have meetings at the end of every season where we essentially go over the rules. We add new ones. We talk about ones that don't work. And I've been in like 4 of those meetings so far. So, like, a lot of these rules, not only do I know them, but I know why they were instituted in the first place. Yeah, it's it actually looks like Rogue, of course, on the aging tires. Just to bring it back to what we were talking about, Rogue on the aging tires is losing about 3 seconds in 3 laps to Bagpy. I'm gonna go look at the delta. Can we make sure there are no spectators? Chip, what? Why? It's in the rules. You're allowed.
And bro, you're racing right now.
Yeah. You know what? You continue the broadcast. I'm gonna go talk to Chip.
And now we're seeing Rogue right now. 17-second gap between him and Bagpy right now. And we're seeing a little bit of a scrum here for P4 with Smithers. I think we can say that for certain. For sure in these. Excuse me, I totally lost what I was saying. But P3 is on the line here for him. 13 drivers at the start of this. Terry, it was. And if you're still in that, I didn't even see what happens. All I heard was Kia go, Terry's off track, and I switched to you, and you were pretty much gone at that point. And sad day, frustrating. I get it. I totally understand it, but it's not F1 racing without making some form of drama out of it. But Mr. Hood feeling the pressure once again with Smithers. Hello. Again.
Just clarifying with Chipsy. Chipsy thought I was talking to somebody who is not Terry. So, yes, if you are not a racer, you're not allowed to join back. Terry is a racer who DNF'd. He's allowed to come back and spec his co-driver.
All right. Okay, well, now that we have gotten that cleared up out of the way.
It's raining.
It's starting to rain.
It's raining. We'll have to see who blinks first and comes onto the inters. Yeah, not only that, but like we saw both Bag and Rogue were struggling pretty heavily. Oh my god, I just realized. Sorry, I just realized that the telemetry is missing the gap system. It's calculating the gaps, it's just not displaying them. That is my bad. But the rain.
Rain,
We'll
yes.
see who blinks first as Terry rejoins. We'll have to see who blinks first. And not only that, as we saw with the light rain, a few of these cars, mega squirrely under power, under acceleration. We'll have to see if anyone spins from that. Chipsy and Main Chief here fighting through turn 4. Through turn 5 into turn 6. It does look like Main Chief on the sauce is getting by Chipsy, though.
Main Chief doing a good job here. Very comfortable. Getting by Chipsy already. Now the target for Main Chief is going to be the Renault of Pizza Parker. Now, I got to wonder, because Rogue knows the race, what the racing conditions are going to be. Do you think he maybe tweaked his setup or found his setup is more geared for the wet? Because considering he's 20 seconds behind Bagpy, it's 24 seconds in the pits.
Oh, sorry. That's Lord Raptor goes wide and has to concede the position to Stewie in the stadium section. But no, I think Mexico is a track that lends itself to having a dry setup that works well in the not well, but works fine in the wets anyway. He may have raised wings or something that would have been detrimental on the straights. But yeah, I'm not sure. Your diff's already pretty open on this track, if I'm honest. So I doubt it. I really doubt that he geared his setup towards being wet, considering the majority of the race is being held under dry conditions. As Madman is the first, double stacking McLarens, but Madman is the first onto inters, and so is his partner of SoCal Blazer, also onto the inters with a crucial, just torturous 15-second wait before he gets his own stop because of the double stack. That is really unfortunate and poor communication. Rogue might be coming in this lap. No, he bypasses the pits one time. I don't know if I would have done that. I'm not sure if those guys got the call from Jeff to pit or whatnot. We'll have to see exactly what their lap times are, but Bag is so far ahead in the lap, I might have taken the chance if I was Rogue and just ducked in and grabbed him there.
Well, right now, Bag P is 23 seconds ahead of Rogue. So that undercut option kind of going out the window here. So he's
and that's Van spinning around on circuit in the S's. And that's
Van, keep it together, man. Keep it together here. We don't need a safety car here late. Oh no! What has happened to the Racing Point? Is that going to bring out a safety car? There it is. No.
Oh, that is huge. That is neutralizing the race. That's going to crunch up Bag and Rogue all together. This isn't like a VSC giving a free pit stop. Everyone's getting a free pit stop. The only losers here are Chipsy, Lord Raptor, Madman, and SoCal, who pit just a lap too early onto the inters. Unfortunate for them, but everyone else, literally everyone, is heading into the pits. And who's that? Van, count your lucky stars that you got in a second. Van, why are you on the mediums?
Van, you have...
Oh, no.
Oh, no. And Lord Raptor has also DNF'd out of this race. Van, you have... Van... Oh,
yeah, Rogue's onto the inters. I think that's the right call.
What has happened?
I think Bag might have just thrown away a chance to crush Rogue's hopes, because if he gets, let's say he gets fastest lap. I don't actually know who has fastest lap at the moment. We'll have to check the race director.
Right now it is Main Chief with a 1:16.337.
Right. And that's not going to be beat, obviously, in wet conditions. So Rogue in P2 had a maximum of 18 points to get. Now he's up to 25, right? That is leaving a 12-point gap to a 5-point gap to Terry. That is devastating for the Williams team. My God. And if he pits now, he comes out behind Rogue. That's Rogue is in the capture safety car thing. I think Bag's gonna have to pit here.
The wrong, not checking. You know, that is one of the things about sim racing. I think people don't realize and have an appreciation for. You know, real life F1 drivers. You know, this could happen. I mean, Mercedes have flubbed a pit stop how many times this year? It's the same thing in sim racing. You can flub up making sure your strategy is all correct and totally just throw your race away. And that is exactly what has happened here.
Yeah, and that's Bag into the pits. Rogue's gonna come out into P1. I think Bag might be able to get into P2 again. Yeah, looks like he's pretty safe for a P2, but he is going to be behind Rogue, just throwing away casually to the wind. You know, when I came into Chipsy's voice channel to talk to him, do you know what I heard Rogue say? I heard Rogue say, wow, this guy's pulled out an entire pit stop on me already. And that is an entire pit stop. Poof. Gone. Vanished.
Terry, can you actually comment on that? What happened there, what happened there to Bagby? If you're in chat, if you can talk about that. Oh man.
I mean, listen, there's 13 laps to go. There's still time. But
what is Van doing?
What is Van doing? I don't know. He's at this point, like, at what point do you say that's intentionally driving to cause a safety car? Oh, so had Jeff not called you guys in with an alternate strategy? Is everyone just manually picking the inters, and that's why it's Garbo? Yikes. Oh.
F1 Codemasters really is proving itself again. There's Van into the pits.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Comment from Smithy. No, it is Smithy. It is Smithy. I was correct. I am actually so happy. I'm actually quite upset. We'll say that myself. Rookie error. Lord Raptor also slammed on his sprint.
Not only does Van retire, he retires in the points paying positions. Good God. You know what? I know exactly the message I'm going to send in FIA chat when this race is done. I'm going to ask, does the driver need to complete 95% of the race like in real life to get points? I mean, Van's a reserve. He's at tier 2 reserve, so it really doesn't matter. But not. I mean, there are just so many things to talk about here. Van in the what is his car's still out? Van's car's come out. Good God. Van's car's come out. That's Pizza Parker in P3 has finally caught up, and it looks like the pack is reformed. From P1 to P6, yeah. Not only is he killing you, he's killing us.
Damn. Ben, did you have to go back and get some pizza again? Jeez.
What I was
oh my
is
gosh.
Bag P and Pizza Parker still carry those 3-second penalties from track extensions. So it is infinitely harder. Not only does Bag need to get past Rogue, or alternatively, not suggesting he does this at all. But putting Rogue into a wall, that's like there are a lot of things he needs to do. Pass him is the most optimal, and pass him plus 3 seconds to save his chances. Why is this so long? Probably because Rogue paid the safety car driver. But the safety car is in this lap. Bag is weaving around like a madman. I'm worried he's about to put himself into a wall just like his teammate. And here we go. Rogue is now the pace car. Bag is following him very closely.
What's the strategy here? Wait until you get to the line to go at the final turn?
Listen, it's a long drag down the final straight. You want to catch Bag out and just like send it now. But he has it. He might wait till the line to before he floors it. Because Bag right now has passed him when he's not allowed, and that is Bag. Oh, I hope that's not damage, but that is a very poor move from Bag, losing 3 positions off the mark. I would call that. He's about to be passed by that Alfa Romeo down the inside.
That's it. Main Chief has 12 seconds of penalties. Bag P did not pick up a penalty there. Let's see what happens here through turn 1. Everybody going through cleanly. Only 9 drivers left on the grid. The McLaren of SoCal Blazer trying so hard to catch up to the pack here.
Okay, so nippling damage. That's good. But that was a very clear move of Rogue doing what we've seen so many times in real life, where you wait. If there's a long straight ahead, you wait till the very last minute to go, and that is the line. Bag misjudging that point, going ahead, passing him, being forced by the game to give back the position, and then losing off the restart. That is played very, very well by Rogue, and now he has a buffer of an Alfa Romeo who is, as we've seen in this race, quite quick in order to be a stop between him and between Rogue and Bag. This, not so bad.
Not so bad indeed. So let's see what happens here. We got 9 drivers. It's a shootout here. 11 laps to go. Main Chief, 12 seconds of penalties, we need to say. Bag Pete currently in 3rd. I'm trying to just get my bearings a little bit now. So now the pack has kind of basically formed. The top 3 sticking together, and the midfield sticking together as well. We have Pizza Parker and a Chipsy. Chipsy looking very good here. I would say he's the driver of the day candidate.
And that's Bag right into the back of Main Chief, and he's Main Chief was so much slower than he was expecting at the apex, and that is his wing completely sheared off. This is Rogue sailing into the sunset now with a very good opportunity for a very good points haul here. This has been a roller coaster of a race, but Bagby is going to need a pit again. That is significant damage to his wing, and he's just dropping down the order, and that is Rogue. So long as that Alfa Romeo gets no spicy ideas, that is Rogue far and away, probably gonna collect 25 points. That's reducing the gap to Terry to 5 points, and then we have a banger, a masterpiece, masterclass of a final race in Brazil. And I swear to God, if we get 13 drivers again, boy, is Tier 1 gonna hear it from me.
Kia has spoken. But you're exactly right. Rogue driving off into the sunset. All he has to do now is keep Main Chief behind him, or if Main Chief gets past him, hold him off and just keep within 12 seconds. That is basically.
It's 15 seconds now. Ooh.
Oy, oy, oy.
Yeah,
he's a reserve driver, and he shows up today.
Listen, oh boy, this is oof. This is.
We were talking.
Rogue, listen, Rogue, if he wants to abate the concern, can let Main by, and just not let a crazy person kill him. Listen, I'm sure Main didn't actually do anything. I actually don't know. I really didn't see many POVs of the incidents. Of course, Terry's calling it a dive bomb. But my experience, while I was fighting for a championship in Bahrain, fighting against my teammate Tack, in the last race, Gore had killed him. And Gore was coming up to pass me. Reserve points didn't count. I let him by. I just pulled over to the side of the road and let him sail off beyond because it didn't matter to me. Main could easily pass Rogue, and Rogue just needs to stay within 15 seconds and above Pizza Parker by 8 seconds. This is Rogue's race to lose in a rather embarrassing way if he does it.
Kia, we were talking earlier. You said it's going to be a boring race on a boring track. Here we go. It's actually been quite exciting. This has been one of the better races we have had this season.
Yeah. Honestly, listen. Rogue, if you do get killed by this Alfa Romeo behind you, I'm going to say I told you so, because just let him by. Just let it. It's 15 seconds. He's not going to disappear 15 seconds. This is too much. Oh, boy.
Bro,
this could easily end badly if this guy with 15 seconds of penalties is trying to fight for position with Rogue. Not that he has so far, but he's staying quite close for somebody who doesn't realize that he's going to at least P8 just on penalties alone.
Oh, Kia. You need to come back in the Tier 1 more often as a third commentator. But
I try, but you guys have your schedules booked. Maybe next season.
Yeah, we need a third guy. We need a third guy now.
No, 3 is too many. We tried a Tier 2 race with 4 people. That was mayhem.
Well, that's 4 people. 4 people is too many. You gotta, there's
3 was too many as well. Look at this. SoCal picking up more penalty points. Bagp has recovered actually fairly well, given that he does have significant wing damage. But that's, it's gonna do. It might help Williams's championship points. I'm not exactly sure what the constructors championship stands at, but in terms of drivers championships, this is Main Chief's championship to disrupt and Rogue's championship to lose. And he goes, he's going for a dive bomb. That is from way too far back. He's looking at a move that is impossible in normal circumstances. Rogue, let the man by. So don't fight him. Good God.
Somebody tell the man to stop fighting for the win for the win on track. You don't need to win this on merit.
Listen, if this was the Trevor Project charity race and somebody had irresponsibly given me the admin commands for ACC, this man would have a 100 kilogram ballast already. This is Like, these moves are giving me a heart attack, and it's not okay. Why do you need to be within 2/10 when it's the rain and you have 15 seconds of penalties? And Rogue, why don't you see his 15 seconds of penalties? Now it's 18 seconds of penalties. Let him go, Rogue. Let him go.
And that's exactly what he's going to do. He saw that move coming, and Rogue going to just tuck in right behind him here with 7 laps to go. 18 seconds. What is happening? Jeez.
If he disappears and gets an 18-second gap, like, fucking props to him, right? But at that point, like, come on.
No, we don't have a DSQ.
Yes, we do.
We do?
It's 24 or 20, 24 or 29, no, 24 or 27, depending on the track. Sahil got DSQ'd in Canada, like, 2 seasons ago. That was hilarious.
We have not had that happen in a race, I don't think, this season.
Have,
or even last season.
Not this season, not last season, but Sahil 2 seasons ago, DSQ'd in Canada. It was, again, I maintain, it was hilarious. And then he did it in Austria, I believe, in the same season. It was just perfection. Chef's kiss perfection.
Well, we're seeing the McLarens now making a pit stop for wet tires now. I do not understand why they would do that.
I mean, they're a hive mind, right? They pit at the same time. I guess they both go wet, oonga boonga. It's time to go. Like, it is. I mean, it's technically storm weather, right? I can see on the telemetry, our beautiful, beautiful telemetry. It says race weather, storm weather in 0 minutes, storm in 5 minutes, storm in 10 minutes, light rain after that. But I mean, like, I guess they might pit. We'll have to see. It's 6 laps left. We'll have to see what the pace difference is. Looks like Rogue might be struggling just a bit.
Well, Rogue just needs to stay. He just needs to not fall back 18 seconds, not wreck, not spin. Just drive the car. That's all you have to do is drive the car. That's all we're just...
I think what we're going to see, because like all of these temps, like the guys in the... one of the McLarens has 60 degrees on their tires, 59, 57. Like, they can't warm up the wets. I think everyone who's on inters is going to stay for inters unless they need a pit, in which case they go to the wets, as Bag P now getting a move down on Pizza Parker. Will it get done by turn 1? He's taking the, quote, offline, squeezing Pizza a bit and gets by just into turn 1. Turn 2, the move is complete. In turn 3, he's off. Into the sunset, maybe. Pizza Parker's actually quite close behind.
Gypsy trying to follow along here. He is currently in 5th position. I guess we should start thinking about our driver of the day here. Now, Pizza Parker, he's running wide with that Renault. He has to come back in. Now
unquestionably, it's got to be Rogue, right? But not only that, I'd just like to address Torres in chat. Our DSQ is not set by us in the regulations. It's set by the game. The game will DSQ you if you have too many track warnings.
And now Gypsy getting by Pizza Parker, going for P4 as well. So
yeah, that was a bit of argy-bargy, but he is by. And that's, Mr. Wood just tapping the gearbox of that Renault right there, giving him a little how do you do. 9 racers, but it's still very interesting. I have to apologize to our Twitch and YouTube audience for all of the bits you are getting. Compression on rain does not look good, and it looks even worse in a game where the rain is like 2 pixels. So, you know what, Cody's next thing I want in 2021, fat rain so the compression isn't so terrible. Looks like Rogue's only dropped 4 seconds to Main Chief. Main Chief has 14 seconds to recruit if he wants that P1. He's not gonna get it. He's just not.
Oh boy, 4 laps to go now. Here at the Mexican Grand Prix in the Apollo Racing Club F1 2020 Tier 1 division. We're seeing Mr. Hood and Pizza Parker now sticking very close together, but those guys are figuring out their battles. So, let's see here. Yeah, let's nominate Main Chief as driver of the day. No. But definitely Rogue. So you're saying Rogue. I was going to say Gypsy. Gypsy has driven very well today. Had the fight, like his quality strategy worked out, and the strategy for the race has worked out. He's currently P4. So That's
Rogue has driven an incredibly clean race under a lot of pressure.
Yes, I will say that Rogue, he definitely deserves driver of the day. I mean, he just has to now, and he's still under the pressure. I mean, we can't. 18 points
I know
versus
there's
25.
a lot of pressure. Please don't spin. Just like
Just
in
don't
your mind,
die.
just constantly in your mind, just think, I can't spin, I can't spin, I can't spin, I can't spin. That's all you got to do. Why isn't Chipsy letting Mr. Hood go? Very good question. Because like the real Mercedes, they don't do team orders, I assume. I'm not sure.
I was going to say, I think Chipsy has a bit more pace.
Actually, about that Mario Kart comparison we have in chat, it's like Mario Kart Main Chief found every shortcut. I saw a tweet from somebody I very much admire today, who I did not realize was in F1, or who watched F1, and they said, and I quote, F1 would be a lot more interesting if the drivers could drop bananas like in Mario Kart. And I agree, which is why you should join us for F1 Race Stars, F1's very own officially licensed game that came out for the Wii, recently released on PC like 3 years ago. It has power-ups, and we're doing a charity event in it, just to round off our charity event for the Trevor Project, which has raised over $800 at this point. Very good from us.
That
Pat
is
on the
very
back,
good.
everyone. We have beaten, and we have defeated, and put an end to homophobia, and that's great.
Yeah, that's very good. Huge shout out to all the members here at Apollo Racing Club taking part in the charity events here. We've done a Assetto Corsa event.
If you want, by the way, a very in-depth, essentially podcast about pride flags, go watch the ACC charity stream. I had no idea what I was doing commentating that race, so I talked about pride flags like 90% of the time because there were a lot of them on the car liveries.
Nice. Hello, call me Andrew. Thank you for joining us here tonight on Twitch. So let's go in. 2 laps to go. 2 laps. Oh my lord. Rogue has now gotten. He's dropped down 8 seconds. Rogue, what are you doing, man?
Securing the win, not pushing himself, not smashing into a wall, realizing he has a 10-second gap to Manchief essentially, and that's not going to change in 2 laps.
Meg P has gone up into 3rd. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm thinking Manchief into a P3, potentially P4 probably.
Yeah, I could see that. So, and that would move up Beg P into P2. So he recovered. He would have recovered his race basically. But Beg P really struggling on just keeping the car in place here. He's currently.
Bagpee is recovered so much that he's only 2 seconds away from Rogue from what was a disastrous race restart. But he has 6 seconds of penalties, and he's not gonna be able to recoup that in time. He's going at about a second a lap quicker than Rogue is. Now only 0.5 a lap quicker. So it's not gonna happen.
Mr. Hood and Chipsy getting very close together here through the stadium section. Coming across the line now down the front straight. They're only they're 0.7 apart from each other. Mr. Hood trying to keep his teammate under pressure here as usual.
Yeah, we have, 1.5 laps to go. Main Chief is just sliding this mother all around the track, getting through the corners, not in the most pleasant way, but in a way that is, you can call it quick if you want, I guess. But yeah, that is that. Actually, sorry, I misspoke earlier when I said Bags half a second faster than Rogue. I was looking at Rogue's time compared to Main Chief. It is, he is almost a second quicker a lap, but that's still not enough time to recover all of that time. And
I hate to interrupt you, Chipsy. Mr. Hood making the move finally happen onto Chipsy, and he now picks up P4, and he actually is gapping Chipsy here, and Mr. Hood has 0 penalties. Him and Rogue 0 penalties.
Yeah, unfortunately, because Chip didn't let Mr. Hood go further, Chipsy does have penalties, but Mr. Hood doesn't, and because of that, he wasn't able to actually capitalize on the bag piece 6 seconds penalty. So ultimately, Mr. Hood, the highest he can get is P3, and that is if he puts in like a banger right now and somehow finds maybe 3 seconds to main chief, then doesn't look like that's going to happen. Bag P takes a 5-second corner cutting penalty. That's 11 seconds. Mr. Hood might be into P3 now. Cause that's main chief into P2. And I mean, goodness.
Well, we got to see where Main Chief comes out, because I don't even know where he is currently coming through the S's, and this is where he was picking up quite a few of his penalties, and we'll stick with him when he comes across the line.
Yeah, and Rogue clearly sandbagging Bag P, who's they're fighting through the S's. Rogue might have forced him off. Honestly, if I was Roy, I would not have fought that so hard. You have the time penalties. Just let him go and then win. It's not that big of a deal, as Main Chief is about to. Ooh, a bit of a lock from Bag, but that is to be expected given the conditions. Oh, but he's sliding around, slippy slide. Main Chief obviously takes the dub on track. We'll have to see what that actually results in on race end. And that is, Rogue into P1, Main Chief into P2, Bag into P3, but that might be Mr. Hood into P3. We'll have to see. That is Mr. Hood into P3.
Mr. Hood grabbing a podium here. Gypsy coming in 5th place. Bag P falling in 4th for his final position. Now we're seeing SoCal Blazer battling it to the end with Stewie 3K, and he falls down to 8th. Because of penalties, Stewie moves up into 7th. And then Madman GTR coming across the line to finish in 9th. He'll finish in the points. Well, Rogue takes a victory here in Mexico. Terry falls out of the points.
I have to agree with the game. We could talk about the standings in a minute. I have to agree with the game. Main Chief is our driver of the day.
There we go. Main Chief getting the driver of the day, getting a podium here at Apollo Racing Club. But the real story is Rogue having basically the drive of his life to take the championship battle to Brazil with Terry to defend his title. Well, I guess, who do we interview, Kia? Do we interview?
Nobody.
Yeah, nobody. I was gonna say let's interview Rogue, because I mean this just made the whole thing just completely dramatic now.
I mean, I have to go attend to some investigative matters, but I mean, Rogue is coming into Brazil, the final round, with a 5-point gap to Terry. It's spicing up. We'll have to see.
We will have to see indeed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for joining us here on Apollo Racing Club here tonight. Join us tomorrow night for Tier 2 action here in Mexico. I don't even know what the standings are. I don't know any of the storylines, but I think it's heating up as well. Well, for Kia, myself, EV500, we thank you for watching here tonight, and we hope to see you next time right here on Apollo Racing Club.